The queen of rock and roll Tina Turner, whose illustrious career made her a household name, has away at age 83. Tina Turner, the irresistible singer and stage performer who had a spectacular run of hit albums and live performances in the 1960s and 1970s with husband Ike Turner, and who triumphed in middle age with the #1 single What's Love Got to Do With It, has passed away at the age of 83. According to her manager, Turner passed away on Tuesday at her home in Küsnacht, close to Zurich, following a protracted illness. 10 years ago, she obtained Swiss citizenship. She was born Annemie Bullock in a segregated Tennessee hospital and spent her later years in a 260,000-square-foot mansion on Lake Zurich, making her one of the few celebrities to have gone so far and achieved so much. While most of her friends were on the decline in their 40s, she became a superstar on her own and remained a top concert draw for years following, despite the physical abuse, emotional devastation, and financial ruin caused by her 20-year marriage to Ike Turner. How do we bid adieu to a woman who used her suffering and trauma to help transform the world? In the 1993 biopic What's Love Got to Do With It, Angela Bassett, who played Turner, stated in a statement, "Tina Turner showed others who lived in fear what a beautiful future filled with love, compassion, and freedom should look like through her courage in sharing her story, her commitment to stay the course in her life, no matter the sacrifice, and her determination to carve out a space in rock and roll for herself and for others who look like her." The queen of rock and roll was one of the most well-liked entertainers in the world, with fans that included Mick Jagger, Beyoncé, and Mariah Carey. She was most known for her hits in the genres of pop, rock, and rhythm and blues, including Proud Mary, Nutbush City Limits, River Deep, Mountain High, and Proud Mary, and the success she experienced in the 1980s, which included the singles What's Love Got to Do With It, We Don't Need Another Hero, and a rendition of Let's Stay Together by Al Green. Her distinctive features included a growling contralto that could smolder or burst, a wide variety of wigs, powerful cheekbones, a bold smile, and legs that were muscular and fast to step. She earned 12 Grammy Awards, sold more than 150 million records worldwide, was inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame alongside Ike in 1991, and was honored at the Kennedy Center in 2005 with praise from Beyoncé and Oprah Winfrey. A movie was based on her life. In 2021, she will bid the public farewell with a Broadway musical and an HBO documentary. She was regarded as the leading lady of the Ike and Tina Turner revue, The Steady Ike, until she divorced him and revealed their secret history. Ike was listed first and directed the performance, selecting the songs, the arrangements, and the backup vocalists. For years, they went on the road continuously, in part because Ike was frequently strapped for cash but hesitant to miss a show. Tina Turner was compelled to continue performing despite having pneumonia, bronchitis, and a collapsed right lung. Sometimes Ike himself was to blame for her misfortunes. Ike started striking her shortly after they met in the middle of the 1950s, as she recalled in her autobiography Tina, and his attacks only got worse. He would beat her till her eyes were swelled shut, suffocate her, or be provoked by anything or anyone, and then rape her. He shattered her jaw just before a performance, and she entered the stage with blood pouring from her mouth. She credited the emergence of her Buddhist beliefs in the middle of the 1970s with giving her a sense of power and self-worth, and she ultimately left in the first few days of July 1976. She was terrified of being with Ike and of surviving without him. It was planned for the Ike and Tina Turner revue to launch a tour commemorating. While Ike slept, Tina snuck out of their Dallas hotel room carrying only a mobile credit card and 36 cents. She quickly crossed a highway nearby, barely missing a speeding truck, and located another hotel. She wrote in her memoir, "I looked at him and thought, you just beat me for the last time, you sucker." Turner was one of the first public figures to open up about domestic violence, helping battered women find strength and becoming a role model for all people. Ike Turner sought to blame Tina for their problems, but he did not deny treating her badly. When he passed away in 2007, a spokesperson for his former spouse merely stated, "Tina is aware that Ike passed away." Fans of Ike and Tina were largely unaware of this during their heyday. From bluesy ballads like A Fool in Love and It's Going to Work Out Fine to flamboyant interpretations of Proud Mary and Come Together, and other rock songs that brought them global fame, the Turners were a popular act for the most of the 1960s and into the 1970s. In 1966 and 1969, they served as the Rolling Stones' opening act. In the 1970 Stones documentary Gimme Shelter, they could be heard singing a passionate cover of Otis Redding's I've Been Loving You Too Long. In What's Love Got to Do With It, a film based on Tina, Bassett and Lawrence Fishburne delivered performances nominated for Oscars. She would, however, claim that seeing the movie made her years with Ike so traumatic to relive that she was unable to do so. Ike and Tina helped establish their sexual aura with their version of Proud Mary, which was originally a tight, mid-tempo smash for Creedence Clearwater Revival. Ike's crooning baritone and funky guitar provided the background music as Tina began by speaking a few words about how some listeners preferred songs that were nice and easy. She cautioned, "But there is one issue. You know, we never ever do anything nice and simple. We always do it nice and rough. The career of Turner, however, appeared to be over by the end of the 1970s. She was 40 years old, her debut solo record had failed, and the majority of her live performances took place at cabarets. She even agreed to perform in South Africa despite the boycott of the nation caused by its racist apartheid regime because she was so desperate for employment and money. She was helped to return by rock stars. On Saturday Night Live, Rod Stewart persuaded her to perform Hot Legs with him, and on the Stones' 1981-82 tour, Jagger joined her to perform Honky Tonk Women after openly copying some of Turner's stage antics. At a listening session for his album Let's Dance in 1983, David Bowie admitted that his favorite performer was Tina Turner. She was motivating, friendly, hilarious, and giving, Jagger tweeted on Wednesday. She helped me so much when I was young, and I will never forget her. She recorded a scratchy rendition of Let's Stay Together in EMI's Abbey Road studios in London, where she was at the time more well known in England than the United States. By the end of 1983, Let's Stay Together had been a hit across Europe and was close to becoming a hit in the United States. John Carter, an A&R manager at Capitol Records, pushed the record company to sign her and produce an album. One of the pieces was a summer pop reggae ballad created by Terry Britten and Graham Lyle that Tina at first thought was wimpy. She subsequently remarked of What's Love Got to Do with It, I just thought it was some old pop song, and I didn't like it. The Private Dancer album by Turner, which debuted in May 1984 and went on to sell more than 8 million copies, included a number of top singles, including the album's title track and Better Be Good to Me. It received 4 Grammy Awards, including Record of the Year for What's Love Got to Do with It, the song that came to characterize her clear-eyed appearance in the years following Hurricane Ike. She stated in her memoir, "People look at me now and think what a hot life I must have lived, ha. It was difficult to mistake her for a romantic, even with Ike. Love songs were never her specialty and her voice was never particularly pretty, in part because she lacked a wealth of life experience. She would declare she received no love from either her mother or father and was born in Nutbush, Tennessee, in 1939. Following her parents' divorce, she frequently relocated across Tennessee and Missouri, staying with various relatives. She was gregarious, enjoyed singing, and as a young woman frequented the blues clubs in St. Louis, where Ike Turner and his Kings of Rhythm were among the most popular acts. The first time Tina saw him was at the Club Manhattan, and she wasn't very fond of his appearance. She stated in her memoir, "Then he got up on stage and picked up his guitar. When he struck the first note, I exclaimed, 'Jesus, listen to this guy play.'" Tina promptly took action. Ike Turner was performing by himself on stage during intermission at the adjacent Club Delisa, playing a blues riff on the keyboards. "Beef, Kings You Know I Love You," which Tina recognized, was playing. She took the microphone and joined in. Ike yelled "Jirolo," and demanded to know what else she could do. As Tina recalled, looking startled, she gave in to her mother's misgivings and joined his team. By marrying her in 1962, he gave her the new last name Tina, taking inspiration from the comic book character Sheena, Queen of the Jungle. Tina did achieve success on her own during Ike's infrequent periods of indulgence. She delivered a thundering lead vocal to Phil Spector's monumental production of River Deep, Mountain High, which initially failed to chart in the United States but went on to become a classic elsewhere. She also appeared in the 1975 motion picture adaptation of The Who's rock opera Tommy as the Acid Queen. Mad Max Beyond Thunderdome and a cameo in What's Love Got to Do with It were 2 of his more recent cinematic roles. Turner had 2 sons, Ronald, with Ike Turner, and Craig, with musician Raymond Hill. Craig Turner was discovered dead in 2018 after what seemed like a suicide. Later that year, in her biography Tina Turner, My Love Story, she disclosed that her second husband, former EMI record executive Erwin Bach, had given her a kidney transplant. Turner's past appeared to be a case against marriage, yet her life with Bach was a love tale that Tina the Younger would not have thought was conceivable. Midway through the 1980s, when she traveled to Germany for album promotion and he met her at the airport, they became friends. He was over 10 years younger than she was. In the HBO documentary, she described him as having the prettiest face, and they were attracted to one another. In 2013, she and Bach exchanged vows during a civil ceremony in Switzerland. Turner said to the media at the time, "It's that happiness people talk about, when you wish for nothing, when you can finally take a deep breath and say, everything is good."